Hey, I was trying to picture you last week sitting in your uniform watching the game or something. That had to be tough, man. How tough was it?
No, it was very tough. It was very tough. I feel like I had one of my best weeks of practice last week, and I was excited about the game, excited about just the build up of winning that game and making the playoffs and things like that. So now we're in this situation, and I'm happy to be back. I had a good day today, so I'm happy to be back out there.
Yeah, how challenging has this week been, Jarvis? Just kind of the uncertainty of whether you'd be back and when you'd be back, and then no practice. Like, how challenging has this week been for you?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say challenging. Obviously, I think the game was the hardest part for me. And then, outside of that, understanding that, this is different times and, bringing in the new year, coming out of 2020, and then having the opportunity to know that I'm coming back on Thursday, then the practice get canceled on Thursday and everything is virtual, so it was more like just anticipation. Like I was ready to get back. I was ready to get back and be in the building on Wednesday, ready to get back and practice on Thursday, and we wasn't able to. So, it is what it is.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Tom. Marla Ridenour is next.
Yeah, Jarvis, I mean, do you with all these disruptions and since Saturday, do you feel like you guys are going to be able to, this is an enormous moment for this team. Do you feel like you guys are going to be ready?
We have to be ready. And, we have to be ready. We have to win this game. There's no secret about it. So, to answer your question is we have to be ready.
And how has Baker looked? I mean, Coach Van Pelt mentioned the other day that he had a perfect practice on Wednesday. Does he look, seems like he's on point?
Yeah. We had an amazing day of practice today. Again, me being excited to get back out there, and he's as crisp as ever. So communicating with him even after practice, just talking to him, having conversations with him, asking him how he felt about practice and the plan and things like that, obviously. And all of the talks have been good. So we're excited and we're ready for the challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. We'll go to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Jarvis, after not missing a game for 7 years, was it tougher to miss one for the reason you did, not a real injury, just being a close contact?
Yeah, I would have rather damn near just had COVID myself, but it's all good. And, that was the situation, and now we're here, and I'm just happy that everybody's healthy, and, the guys that were inactive are now active, and hopefully we get those other guys back here pretty soon.
Were you surprised that you got identified as a close contact, or did you know there was a risk when you started thinking about being in that recovery area with BJ?
No, I did not know. I know Saturday was a crazy day just based on, them trying to contact trace and things like that. So, but I had no idea that I would be one of the guys up until I got the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Jeff Shadell is next.
A couple of questions, Jarvis. Do you think the system is worked properly, that you had to be ruled out with that close contact, or do you think it's unfair?
Meaning like the close contact stuff?
Correct. Do you think that the close contact stuff, there should be another way of judging whether you did anything wrong, but
Well, I was on these calls this offseason when this first started, and it's just a tough thing for the league. It's a tough thing on the players and the whole league, and I think they tried to handle it the best way they could to keep things on schedule. And this is one of the things that again, nobody anticipated on having to sit out or having to be a close contact and then having to sit out at all, but we put these plans in place to make sure that we can play football, and that's what we wanted to do ultimately. And they've been strict about those protocols, and I know as a team, even myself and as a team, we have been trying to do everything. Well, we have been doing everything that we can to make sure that it hasn't entered our building, and unfortunately it has.
And the second question was, you have Callie coaching you on Sunday. Tell us about what she's going to do with you guys.
Well, listen. She again. I've said this and I'll say it again. She's one of the reasons why that whole entire building, goes the way that they go. And I know she's excited about it. I know she's going to be on the detail and make sure that we're doing the right things out there, getting the right personnel in the game, and having the awareness that she has on the sideline, to be able to get our job done. Make sure that we're doing ours.
Thank you, Jeff. Daryl Ryder has our next question.
Hey, Jarvis, I kind of asked you, myself included, about getting this franchise back to the playoffs since you got here. And now the moment's here where you have that opportunity. It's right in front of you. Just could you put into context your emotions, your feelings now at the moment is going to come Sunday, where if you win a game, you're going to have the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs for the first time in 18 years.
Yeah, listen. This has been a journey we all have been on, and everyone in this organization has partaken in, and I think this is going to be a big moment, for this organization, for the city, for the Browns fans everywhere, but ultimately we have to buckle down and win this game, and we understand.
And you're at least going to have 12,000 fans in the stands on Sunday. You've seen what Cleveland is like. You've gotten a taste of it, when, fans get really excited about this team. But what do you expect the atmosphere of First Energy Stadium to be like Sunday, even though it's not going to be nowhere near to a full house?
I expect it to be everything that it's always been: loud, intense, into the game, and that's what we're gonna need. We need fans, cheering from their house. We can hear it, we can feel it, all the energy. So, we want all the support that we can have, and the 12,000 that's gonna be in there. I know they're gonna have it rocking. So we're excited about it. We're gonna use it to our advantage.
Thanks. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Daryl. Dan Lobby, go to you.
Hey, Jarvis, kind of along a similar vein. I know when you first got here, this was sort of what you envisioned, and maybe it's taken a little longer to kind of get to a game like this. But does this feel like kind of that moment you envisioned when you first got traded to Cleveland?
Yeah, this is part of it, to be able to play in meaningful games in November and December, and hopefully going into January. We're in January now, but this is part of it, and I'm just happy to have the opportunity, happy to be a part of this organization, and but we have to, I keep on saying it, we have to buckle down and be disciplined and use the week that we had to get on the details and go out there and make sure that we win this game.
I know there aren't a lot of guys kind of left over from those 1-31 years, but I know like Joel Bitonio is one of those guys. Do you kind of think about guys like that went through some of those really lean years before you got here, going into a game like this?
Yeah, I think about those guys. I think about D. I think about Jimmy. I think about all everyone. And again, this is those times of the year where you're playing meaningful games, and that's part of the culture that I've always felt like I've been a part of, in a sense, or that I represent. And then to be able to be a part of an organization that it represents the same thing and wants the same things, and our team goals are aligned, is something that is very exciting. So we're looking forward to now and the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Aditi Kinkabwala, you're up.
Hey, Jarvis, Happy New Year. As you say that, how do you not carry the weight of that? That this is a club that for nearly 2 decades has been in a playoff drought. How does that not feel like a weight on your shoulders?
Yeah, listen, I feel the weight of it, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I it's so important to me. One of the first things that I said, when I first got here, it's definitely important to me. Definitely something that I train all off season for. It's definitely something that I put on my shoulders, on my back. Like last week, for instance, I had no part in the decision that the NFL make, but in some part I do feel, like responsible in a sense, even though I did everything that I could do. I still wanted to be there for those guys, and things just didn't work out the way it worked out because of the times that we're in. But now, I have another opportunity to be back out there on the field with those guys who, again, all of our dreams and our goals are aligned to be able to, play these meaningful games and get into the playoffs and win championships here in Cleveland. I think the weight is not just on my shoulders, but it's on, everybody's shoulders. I think everybody wants this really, really badly.
When we talk about the AFC North, obviously week 1 against the Ravens was week 1, that this entire operation was together. Then there was the Steelers. But there was sort of this question, is there a big difference between the Browns and the Ravens and the Steelers? You proved in the second matchup that there is absolutely not a big difference between you and the Ravens. Is that anything that plays on you in your mind? Like, we want to show we are in the same breath as the Steelers as well? That the AFC North is about 3 great teams right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think just being on the outside looking in before I got here, understanding that, the Steelers and the Ravens have been 2 teams that, has kind of owned this division in a sense, and I understood that was part of being and having the culture that, I felt like, I was going to bring here was to be able to challenge those teams, challenge, that bully mindset that they bring, and let the bully meet the bully, and I don't mean that as any bulletin board material or anything like that, but I just say that just in a standpoint of like that mindset of, it's not like hoping to beat those teams, it's expecting to beat those teams, and because we all understand and know, everybody on this call knows, in order to get where you want to go, you have to beat those teams. Like there's no way around it. And that's every year. So, that's something that, again, has to be embedded in everybody's mindset and in the culture that you're trying to create and the culture that you have. And you go from there. But you're going to get their best shot because they've been there before multiple times.
I'm really sorry, Rob, but I'm going to ask one more. Jarvis, the very first time I met you, you talked about changing the culture in Cleveland. Is it done? Have you done it? Do you feel accomplished?
I think you see some growth in it. And I think that for us, this game right here is a real big game. I think we've continued to grow. I think that, the goal is to always be able to, again, play these meaningful games. And I think we've done that. I think we got ourselves to the point where we're in that situation now, but now it's to win those games. I feel like the culture, it continues to always adapt and develop and grow. And, but I do think that where it may have been when I first got here, we're definitely past that point, and so again, like I say, I'm excited about now and I'm excited about the future,
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We'll take 2 more. Nate Ulrich, Scott Petrick. Nate, go ahead.
Hey, Jarvis. Good to see you. I wanted to ask you this because you've told us before that you don't really talk a lot. You lead by example. But when you do talk, guys listen for that reason. So have you given any kind of speech or thoughts or addressed the team in any way about this opportunity? Or do you plan to do so before kickoff?
Listen, everybody knows what's at stake, and there's not one guy in that building that does not train to be able to play these meaningful games and to be able to make it to the ultimate goal, which every team sets out in the beginning to reach. So, I think everybody understands the urgency about this game, and I'm a big by example guy, and when I feel like things need to be said, I'll address it. But I can't give you an answer about if I would say anything or not. But I know that I'm going to try to let my play speak for itself and let guys follow from there.
Okay, and one more thing I want to ask you. Kevin Stefanski told us that he named Myles the game captain for this weekend, and he said it wasn't a callback to last year, but obviously, given the emotions that could be tied up in this and what a big game it is for you, what was your reaction to hearing number 95 was going to be your game captain for this one?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's in here thinking about, last year. I think, he's played tough. He's played hurt for us. He's our leader. He's a guy that so many guys on this team respect. Every guy on this team respect, and in this organization. And I know for this fact, if anybody is a Cleveland Brown, is Myles Garrett, and who deserves to, to be able to, this moment, in his career, the things that he's done for this city and throughout his career here, to be able to represent this team by going out and being a captain for this game. So nobody has a problem with it. Nobody's looking, deep into it about anything else. We're just excited that, a guy that is a true Cleveland Brown is going to lead us out on that field on Sunday.
Thank you, Nate. Final question to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Jarvis, kind of following up on what Nate's first question was. I mean, you've been to the playoffs, you've been in big games before. A lot of guys on this team haven't at this level. So how do you make sure everybody's prepared to handle the pressure that's going to be bigger than it has been?
I mean, I've always looked at, when somebody has to make a play or pressure situations, just, the level of your training, how you practice, and not getting that heightened anxiety or, whatever it is, just being comfortable and making a play, trusting yourself to make the plays. And I think that's what we have. And I think, even though, we may have lacked some experience in those situations, I think that if everybody just kind of falls to the level of their training and how they practice throughout the week, or, just being comfortable in those situations, I think that gives us an opportunity to be able to make those big plays and those big moments in big games.